It's the story of two brothers who used to live in New York, but this city took everything from them, including their family, and now they want revenge. At a young age, these two brothers decided to do something big, to destroy the city. But how? With the help of all the resources and intelligence they had, they make a bottle bomb. Frankie, the older brother, sets it on fire, and Winston throws him into a building without considering the lives of many people that will be lost in it. Even thinking about the destruction of the city, they did not think that people would die here. They realize this when the police take custody of more than 100 people in the building after their deaths. Winston understands that he had committed such a big crime, and he was crying. Then Frankie tells him, "Don't cry, my brother. If the police ask, tell them that Frankie threw the bomb." After this scene, the story jumps ahead many years. What happened to Frankie then wasn't shown, but now it is being shown that he has grown up. And lives in Hotel Continental, where the owner, Cormac, raised these two brothers. Winston left them and started living in London. He was very intelligent and had earned a lot of money in London by selling his intelligence. Even now, he is sitting in a luxury hotel among the big builders of London and selling his business idea. While on the other hand, Frankie's intentions were dangerous today. There is a New Year celebration in Hotel Continental today. There is a railway track just below the Hotel Continental. Frankie and his partner make their way to the 3rd floor of the hotel, where a locker is located, and Frankie had been planning to steal from here for years. There was a New Year party going on right above this floor. Here Frankie ties the locker with a rope, hooks it on the other side of the rope, and throws the hook into the railway line. As the train passes through there, the hook gets stuck in the train and the locker breaks by force. Frankie and his partner go inside the locker. A lot of money was kept here, but Frankie did not touch a single penny. Frankie had come here to steal a secret box. Before Frankie picks up the box, his partner points a gun at him from behind. When Frankie sees him, he shoots him. While dying, a bullet is fired from this man's hand. The bullets hit the people partying upstairs. With the sound of the bullets, the people of Cormac, i.e. the hotel owner, had also come here. Before they capture Frankie, Frankie tries to escape from here. The people of Cormac fire bullets at him and try to stop him, but everything fails. Frankie had come down to take his girlfriend named Yen, with whom he sits and escapes from here while deceiving thousands of people of Cormac. Frankie also used to work for Cormac. Cormac had raised him up. Still, Frankie stole his precious thing and cheated him. The scene cuts and we are shown Winston. When he woke up in his hotel room in London, he noticed that the doors of his room were open. He goes outside and checks. There was no one outside, but in fact, whoever was there had already come to his room. They kidnapped Winston. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in front of Cormac in New York. Cormac welcomes him here and asks him about Frankie, i.e. about his elder brother. Cormac says Frankie has stolen my very precious thing, but at this time, Winston had no idea about Frankie. Believing in his words, Cormac leaves him but gives his men the task of keeping a close eye on him, because he knew that now Winston would go to Frankie. Besides Winston and Cormac, someone was also looking for Frankie, and this was a lady police KD. She also kept an eye on some weapon dealers to find Frankie, because Frankie had worked with them before. These weapon dealers are Miles and Lo, who are siblings, and Lemmy is their friend. They were alone Americans in Chinatown. Therefore, the Chinese of Chinatown used to trouble them every day. Immediately after this, we see Winston again, who has gone to Charlie. Charlie is a local gangster along with Frankie and Winston's childhood friend. He asks Winston, "What are you doing here?" "You had gone to London," Winston replies. "Yes, I had gone, but Frankie messed up again. He has stolen something precious from Cormac, and in return, his men picked me up and brought me here, and Frankie himself has disappeared." Not only Charlie, even Charlie's men didn't know where Frankie would be. Here, for Winston, Charlie sends people to find out about Frankie and asks Winston, "What will you do after finding out?" Winston looked at him and said, "Frankie is my brother. His life is in danger. Cormac is after him. The one who picked me up from London, he will also reach him, and before that, I will find my brother and save him. You just give me your car." His car, which was more precious to him than life, but the one who was going to ask for it was also Winston, he couldn't even refuse. Yes, but he warned him so much that even if he dies, he shouldn't let it be scratched. Winston comes to a karate club in Chinatown, according to Charlie's men. According to the information, Frankie was seen here many times with a girl named Yen. This karate club was actually a weapon dealer's place, where he first meets Luo. After some small talk, he gets to the point and asks her about Frankie. Luo becomes furious as she heard it, as if Frankie had also robbed her. Suddenly, Winston feels something wrong with the sound of the bullet being fired here. He takes Luo on the gunpoint and asks her to move inside. He felt that Frankie was in danger inside, but the environment inside was completely different from his thinking. Here, the weapon dealer Miles was doing his job in a very relaxed way. When Winston asks him about Frankie, he replies, "We are also looking for Frankie. Because of him, we suffered a lot of loss. We were going to deal with a dangerous gang while trusting him, but he did not come to us by deceiving us at the end time. That dangerous gang looted all the weapons from us, and we suffered a lot of loss." Seeing Winston worried, Miles tells him that no matter how hard you try, no one will be able to find him. Remember, Frankie is the guy who no one can find unless he wants to. Winston thinks something and asks Miles for a gun. Surprisingly, Miles gives him the gun. After taking the gun, he left from here. After that, the scene cuts and we are shown a new character. This masked lady is also looking for Frankie for his stolen box. At this time, she had kidnapped Frankie's companion in the robbery, who had escaped from Frankie's attack that day. The masked lady was torturing him and asking about Frankie and the box, but he did not know anything about Frankie in the city. Winston was also looking for Frankie in every lane of the city. Then he suddenly remembered something from the poster on the wall. He goes to an old cinema by turning his car fast, where he sees Frankie sitting alone, and he was watching a movie. When he went there, he found out that this is a statue which was exactly like Frankie from behind. Suddenly, a rope fell into his throat and pulls him up. Right now, his hands between his neck and the rope had saved his life. The girl attached from the other pole of the rope was Yen, and she had set this trap. Frankie had also seen all this from above to save whom Yen had set these traps. Before Yen kills Winston, Frankie stops her and comes down and asks him, "What are you doing here?" Winston replies, "Punishment for all your sins. You stole that box and made a mistake. To reach you, Cormac kidnapped me from London. I know he will reach you soon. I have come here to help you because I also know Frankie. You have no plan." He takes him upstairs and showed him the box he had stolen from Cormac. There was no money in it, but a coin press. Winston asks him, "Why did you steal Cormac?" "Hey, this doesn't belong to Cormac. It's for the person Cormac works for." Frankie wanted to prove that he was not cheating on Cormac like his father. At that moment, Winston says, "Frankie, please leave all these petty fights. Come with me. I have a lot of money. I will fulfill all your wishes." During these talks, Cormac's men who were watching Winston's car also reach, and before they find them and attack them, they quietly take the coin press and leave from here. On the way, Yen was very angry at Winston because she felt that all this trouble has come because of him. They were now going to Charlie because they knew that no one was going to help them except Charlie. As they reach Charlie, Charlie takes care of his car before meeting him, then he welcomes him. On the other hand, when Cormac finds out that this time too Frankie escaped from his men, now in anger, he orders his secretary to hire two sharpshooters. Here, Winston and Frankie were arguing. Frankie did not want his brother to come back to this poor world where there are only crimes. It turns out that where Charlie had kept them, Charlie's own man informs Cormac about their location. Cormac tells him not to let them run away at any cost, but Frankie and Winston were sitting in the car and were just waiting for Yen. He comes in front of their car and tries to stop them, but at the right time, Yen comes and kills this man. Meanwhile, the people of Cormac had also come here, and before Frankie and Winston get caught, they run away and leave for a building. Soon, they were climbing the roof of the building because a helicopter was going to pick them from here. Charlie had arranged it for them. The people of Cormac also follow them inside the building, and here a fight is shown between them. Frankie does not let anyone win with his strength, and there is also firing, but somehow, while trying to escape, they finally reach the helicopter, but they did not know that Cormac was already aware of their arrival, and he had called the sharpshooters to kill them in the SAM building. The sharpshooters attack their helicopter. One bullet hits Yen and the other hits the pilot. The injured pilot somehow flies the helicopter to save their lives. Finally, now these people were free. They could go anywhere, but in the helicopter, Frankie tells them that no, this is not over yet. Cormac will find me from anywhere in the world, as if he found you from London, and I will have to finish all this. As he says this, he takes the box and jumps from the helicopter. He jumped on the SAM building from where his helicopter had flown, and the faraway sharpshooter shoots him here without wasting time. Winston was watching all this on the helicopter. He was now saddened by his brother's death, and a fire of revenge burned within him. Here, it is shown that Cormac found the box behind which he was, but inside the box, he finds a statue instead of a compress. Seeing this, he becomes furious. It turns out that Winston also did not leave the city. He had now come to the karate club of the weapon dealers, and he tells them that I want weapons, a lot of weapons. Miles keeps them with him. Yen's treatment begins, and Winston completes the last rites of Frankie. Here Miles asks Winston that the box that Cormac found was empty. Is this true? And if this is true, then he will definitely come after us. Winston meets all of them and talks about killing Cormac. But Miles explains to him that he's not an ordinary man whom we can kill and just remain silent. Then Winston explains to him in response, look, they feel that we have that press in this case, they will come to kill us. It is better that we attack first and kill them. Then whatever he has, it will all be ours. We will take the hotel and will run it all together. He tells them that I know every move of Cormac, because he has raised us since childhood. Here the lady police KD also gets the news that Frankie was killed. To check it, when she comes to the morgue, she does not find Frankie's body there because Winston had burned him. After that, she takes the location of Winston from the people here. On the other hand, he wants to show us the masked lady who has come to meet Cormac. She was threatening him that if you do not find that coin press in 3 days, then there will be someone else on the high table instead of you. On the other hand, Winston and the weapon dealers means Miles and his companions had all got their training because they knew that Cormac's army is huge and they would need training to fight with it. Here Winston tells them about a killer who used to work in the Continental Hotel but now he was retired. Winston wanted to include him in his team because he was a very good sniper. After listening to Winston, this man was not willing to go with him because killing Cormac was not a common thing, but here, Winston, using his persuasive words, finally convinces him to join him. After that, Winston goes to meet a woman. As he enters the palace, many people were going to kill him, but the woman stops him. This woman knew the name of Winston. She asks him, "What have you come here for?" Winston says, "I have a lot of money, you can ask as much as you want. But right now I need your army." In response, the woman says, "I also have a lot of money. But I don't ask for money, I ask for people's help for emotions. Tell me, what is your story?" Winston's story touches this woman's heart named Maisie, and so she gets ready to help him. She gets ready to give her army. The army will support her in the mission to kill Cormac. In the meantime, Cormac's men had also arrived here, following Winston, but in less than 3 seconds, Madge's army kills them all. After that, Winston goes to Charlie, who was his best friend, who had helped him before, but when he arrives here, he finds that Cormac's people have made a mess of things. All that's left is Charlie's company, which he now decides to join. Now Yen is shown, who comes to the house built on her cinema, where she used to live with Frankie. Here, she encounters Cormac's 3 men, whom she fights mercilessly and kills. After that, she decides to take revenge on Cormac for Frankie's death. Obviously, the job was not easy, so she also decides to help Winston. She comes to him with a map of Hotel Continental which Frankie had made, and obviously, they were going to need it in their planning. Looking at this map, Sniper tells Winston that Hotel Continental is very complex. We will not be able to do our job through this map. We will have to bring someone inside the hotel in our plan. It is shown that they go to the buildings in front of Hotel Continental to find a point from where they can target all the rooms of Hotel Continental. Here, Winston and Sniper discuss the importance of attacking at any cost and emphasize the need to kill Cormac quickly, that he does not get a chance to press the red button in his room. If he presses that button, then all the killers in the hotel he kept for his security will all become active. This is a kind of alarm for them, and then everyone will run to kill you, and you will all die. Winston tells him not to worry. Cormac will die now. Here, Winston receives news from Luo that Cormac's personal secretary is leaving him and returning to his village. Now, because he was inside the hotel and they needed someone like this to complete their plan, so they get the whole bus of Cormac's secretary going to the village vacated. Cormac's secretary gets scared of Winston's behavior. Seeing his condition, Winston reassures him not to be scared, as he has only come to talk. Winston explains to him that you have committed a lot of sins by meeting Cormac in this world of sins. You have no work. You have only two ways now: either you leave all this and go to your village or join us. I know it can be difficult for you, but I promise that I will save you. After hearing all this, he gets off the bus and goes back to Hotel Continental on foot. On the way, all these things of Winston were going on in his mind. When he approaches Cormac, he sees that Cormac has killed the musician who had decided to leave the job at the secretary's insistence. When Cormac's secretary asks about this boy, Cormac says he was talking about leaving. He was unfaithful, so I ended him. You know that I am tired of people who leave and go. He was also going to leave and gets more afraid of these things. It is better for him to be loyal to Cormac, and he tells Cormac that Winston is making an entire army to kill Cormac. He even asked me to join. Cormac cuts him off and says, "Then what did you answer?" The secretary says, "I refuse to support him. I chose you." Hearing this, Cormac kisses his forehead. In the next scene, we see that all of Winston's companions are at the Sam place and they are trying to fail to fight. They are training in a strange way. With such training, they cannot win against Cormac. Seeing all these conditions, Winston says if anyone move back, he can, but my mission is to kill Cormac, and then I will take his hotel. But here everyone decides to support Winston. We see that the lady police Katie has also reached this place while asking about Winston. When she asks about Luo and Winston, Luo clearly lies. Winston, I have never heard such a name. K.D. says, "Don't lie. I know what you know and what you don't. Keep my card. If you intend to tell something, then tell me." On the other hand, the old sniper helping Winston goes to a lady's house as a mechanic, which was right in front of the Hotel Continental. From the window of this house, all the rooms of the Hotel Continental were coming to the target. He is convinced that he will be able to complete his work here. To complete his mission, this was the best place for him. The scene cuts and it is shown that Cormac's secretary has come to the Sam bus with the sharpshooters after hijacking which Winston talked to him. He asks the bus driver, "Where did Winston get off the bus?" The driver kept saying, "I dropped him on the roadside and I didn't know about his place," and hearing this answer, the sharpshooter kills him mercilessly. Actually, they are trying to find Winston and kill him, that too at the behest of Cormac. Winston was in a lot of trouble because the day of completing his plan was approaching. On the other hand, Cormac was not sitting in peace due to not getting that compress. The upper table wanted to fire him from this hotel, but he can't bear this. Now Winston took a room in the Hotel Continental. The sharpshooters come here and ask Winston's room number from the receptionist. At the gunpoint, it is shown that Winston was going out of the hotel when Katie had also come here while finding out about him. Katie was seeing him for the first time, so she did not recognize him. But she thought it was Winston. When she took his name, he also stopped. With this act, KD was confirmed that he is Winston, so she takes him to the gunpoint. Winston, who was trying to understand the situation, meanwhile, the sharpshooter sent by Cormac also starts firing. KD first kills that sharpshooter and a bullet of that sharpshooter passes through KD's face. While the sister of that sharpshooter takes Winston to Cormac. Here the lady police KD's companion comes, i.e. another policeman, and wakes her up. She searches for the dead sharpshooter and finds a gold coin in his pocket. The policeman tells KD to leave it. This is the ID of the killers present in Hotel Continental, and now KD keeps this coin with her. On the other hand, it is shown that Luo tells her friends that the people of Cormac have caught Winston. Now the time has come for which we were preparing. Here KD again goes to Hotel Continental, shows the killer's ID and takes a room for herself. Winston was now in front of Cormac. Cormac was holding his hair and asking him, "Where's that press?" Winston says, "I don't know about that press. Frankie hid it. And it's the same one that's causing you trouble even after death." Hearing this, Cormac becomes furious and orders his men to throw Winston down from the building. At the same time, we see Winston's sniper in the opposite building who shoots and kills the men who will push Winston down from the building. Before he shoots Cormac, Cormac lay down, turns back and quickly goes to his table and tries to press the red button, which meant that he was in danger and all the killers should be alert. However, nothing happens here even after pressing the red button. His gun was also not under the table, which was now in the hands of his secretary. Seeing this, Cormac becomes furious and says, "You cheated me." His secretary asks for the keys to the armory, and Cormac says, "If you have the guts, then take it." Winston was now telling him to shoot him, but his secretary could not shoot him because he had been loyal to him for so many years, and taking advantage of this, Cormac goes out of here and closes the door here. He closes them both in the same room. He was now consumed with anger and was pacing back and forth, muttering to himself, "See what I will do to you. I will give you such a bad death that you will regret being born." Meanwhile, we see that Miles and all his companions enter the hotel from different places, while Yen takes the receptionist of the hotel at the gunpoint and first of all asks about the sharpshooters who were the killers of Frankie, who shot Frankie. Lemmy, Miles's companion, also enters the hotel, and as he comes here, he kills two killers. Luo, who was in his karate club at this time, means in her weapons area. Meanwhile, small Chinese kid comes to her and says, "Run away from here because our masters are coming here to kill you." The reason was that she had never listened to the Chinese of Chinatown, and a few days ago, due to a minor altercation with the Chinese, she had thrown the cigarette counter given by them out of her shop. She was moving out, but then a group of people comes. One of them tells Luo that, "I have a memento of your dad, keep it and quietly leave this place. If you are seen here later, then you will be killed." As he says this, all his men go to Luo's karate club and start breaking everything. The scene cuts, and we are shown Winston, who is still locked in the room of Cormac because he was injured. That's why the secretary gives him a painkiller injection. Suddenly, red alarms ring throughout the building, indicating that Cormac has alerted all the killers with the help of another red button. Yen, who is still in the corridor, goes to the ventilation to escape from these killers through a pipe in every room of the building. The killers receive pictures of Winston and the secretary, indicating that they must eliminate both of them. KD who was roaming around as a killer in this hotel. The two killers find out that she is a police. Before they harm her, both of them get beaten by KD. Lemmy had killed two killers. The killers also get orders to end him. Saving himself, he goes to the Sam room from where the killers were being guided. The girl sitting here was sharper than the killers. She was going to kill Lemmy, but Lemmy manages to get rid of her and kills her with the Sam knife. Yen, who was hiding in the ventilation, was still looking for the sharpshooters because she just had to avenge Frankie. It is shown that Winston and the secretary were able to escape from that room and reach the armor room. Before they open the locker, Cormac reaches here with his killers. As Cormac gives the order to shoot, Winston also points someone. It is shown that the killer aim at each other. Winston now points at Cormac to open the safe. Cormac cunningly places the key in the safe and then breaks it, ensuring that it cannot be opened. Suddenly the lights here turn off. There was the sound of the bullets, and as the light turns on, it is shown that all the killers killed each other. Here Luo, who was sitting with that Chinese kid, after getting her dad's memento, this place was nothing for her. She destroys their entire world with his own hands using a remote-controlled bomb. The scenes again shift to Cormac and Winston, where Cormac quickly leaves that vaulted room and goes to the 13th floor on elevator. Winston and the secretary follow him, subdue the liftman, and demand to know on which floor Cormac moved. The liftman tells him 13th floor, and during their conversation, KD comes and takes Winston at gunpoint. She asks the secretary to run and tells Winston the reason for following him. She tells him that years ago, the night you threw the bomb in a building, my whole family died in that accident. I want to take revenge. Saying this, she sprinkles petrol on him and says, "Why don't you realize the pain my family suffered that night?" Winston apologizes and says, "I didn't know there were people in that building," but KD was not going to listen. She was not going to accept his apology. Before she kills Winston, Winston's companion, the sniper standing in the other building, shoots KD. Winston didn't want KD to die, so he forbids the sniper to shoot. After it, he comes to KD and tells her, "Don't worry, I will come back to save you." Cormac goes to his control room and announces that he will pay the killer $2 million to separate Winston's head. Winston hears this and becomes worried, but the secretary says, "Don't worry, I will help you, and the reason behind isn't you or any revenge from Cormac, but your brother Frankie. He was like my elder brother. He treated him like a brother and often made me understand to leave this world. He gave me a lot of weapons to save myself." He tears a poster behind which there were a lot of weapons in the cupboard. He gives some of these weapons to Winston. While it is shown outside that the killers are fighting for $2 million, Yen sees the people she was impatiently waiting for. She gets off the ventilation and takes them at the gunpoint. Before she kills them, Miles comes from behind, and as she distracts, this sharpshooter takes her gun. They attack Yen. It is shown that Lemmy also comes into his senses in the control room. This was the control room where the pictures of the targets were sent to the killers, and he sends bombs to all the killers through these pipes. The sharpshooter, whom Yen wanted to kill, cleverly sends back the bomb to the control room through this duct. When it explodes, Lemmy dies. Miles starts fighting with the sharpshooter. This sharpshooter was smart and was about to defeat Miles when Lo comes to help him, but he also controls Lo before he kills them. The Chinese guy whom Lo brought with her gives her father's gun, using which Lo kills the sharpshooter. Winston goes to the room where Lemmy died. He sees that Lemmy did not throw the bomb in many ducts, and he starts doing this, and because of these bombs, many killers are killed. Seeing this, Cormac gets worried because he felt that it was difficult for him to survive. During this time, Yen was fighting with another sharpshooter. Luo has ended her brother. He was also no less than her brother. But there was a fire burning in Yen for Frankie's revenge. She ends her in her madness. Cormac, who was worried about his death, gets a call from a masked lady who asks him if he found the compress. If not, then get ready to leave the hotel. Cormac answers in anger and says no one can take this hotel from me. He comes back to the control room and turns on the ultra security mode of this hotel by scanning his hand on a scanner. Due to this, there were iron sheds in front of all the windows and the hotel doors. It means that whoever is inside will stay in, and whoever is outside will never be able to come inside. A bomb is also activated here that will explode within 10 minutes, which will destroy this hotel. Winston and Cormac's secretary had also come to this control room while looking for them, and seeing the bomb activated, they find out that this building is going to be destroyed in a while, and along with the building, they all will be killed. They see Cormac here and there. Seeing the CCTV, it find out that he has reached the railway line below the hotel where he had ordered his personal train, and he was about to leave. Winston also follows him without wasting any time. He wanted to kill him at any cost. These two are now fighting. In the meantime, it is shown that KD comes from behind and shoots Cormac, ultimately killing him. After his death, his personal train had also arrived here. Winston could have saved his life, but he did not do that. He was loyal to his colleagues. He gets an idea to save his colleagues' lives. He cuts Cormac's hand and takes it to the security control room. He scans his hand, deactivates the bomb, and destroys the hotel's ultra security. The people had won. Finally, no one believed everyone was here. Winston tells Cormac's secretary, "You can go if you want to." In reply, he says, "No, you will get bored without me." Everyone here celebrates their victory. According to their plan, they were going to run this hotel, but to ruin their happiness, a masked lady arrives and tells Winston, "If you kill Cormac, this hotel will not be yours. The high table will decide whose hotel it will be, and if you want, I can talk to the high table for you." Winston was not a kid. He knew that this lady wanted to get this hotel. He says to the lady, "No need. I will talk to the high table for now. You worry about yourself." The masked lady says, "You can't talk to the high table. I can talk to him." As he hears this, Winston shoots her and says, "Now I can also talk to him." There's a twist in this story. The press that initiates this narrative was actually owned by Winston. Winston already wanted to get this hotel, and he knew that if he wanted this hotel, he would have to give this compress to the high table. He also knew that there could be a war to get this hotel, so he used this compress and made a lot of coins. The hotel killer's ID was a coin that he gave to Maze's army, who were already residing in the Continental Hotel. Hesse were the killers who killed Cormac's people in the hotel room, actually supporting Winston in winning this war. After it, this hotel finally belonged to Winston.